Welcome, horror fans, and thank you for downloading The Horror Show. Sit back while your hosts Sean and Joe take you back in time to review your favorite and not so favorite horror movies from yesteryear. With their own twisted comedic view, your host will remind you why you loved or hated those classic horror movies and other horror-related events. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to The Horror Show.
Hello everybody and welcome to The Horror Show, the show that dissects, mutilates, dismembers, and butchers all of your favorite and not so favorite horror movies and other horror-related events. I'm Sean.
I'm Joe.
We're here. Not going to finish that. We're here. It's the second part to our horror essentials.
Yes.
Joe's list.
My list.
So, if this is your first time tuning into us, which probably will be, for a lot of you, we did 2 episodes. This is the second, and we're talking about essential horror movies. And the concept is you meet somebody that's never seen a horror movie, which, by the way, I've thought about this question. Okay, let me finish. I am the worst. ADD. So you meet somebody that's never seen a horror movie before, ever. And they ask you, hey, I want to get into horror movies. Give me 10 movies to start me off.
Yes.
To introduce me to the genre.
So it's not necessarily your favorite. It's
not
just
necessarily
10
favorite,
movies you would
just
give to someone that's never seen a horror movie.
to really introduce them. And the more I think about this question, the more angry I am about it because it is so hard. And I was talking to Grandma's Watching Horror about it, actually. And she just made a lot of good points where I was like, wait, what? Yeah, like there's so many different things to think about when you're considering all these things. Before we get started, though, Scream's not on your list, correct?
Scream's not on my list.
Okay. So what I want to do is Scream was on my list, or partially, sort of, in that 10 slot. So I was actually discussing with one of our fans at Necroprancy on Tumblr and Twitter. That's her name. We were talking about this.
A lot of female horror fans, huh?
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. It's interesting. She had Scream on her list. I'll read it later. And I said to her, I was like, yeah, Scream's kind of weird. Like, I didn't know whether I should include it or not because it's kind of tough because would they understand the tropes if they've never seen horror?
Right.
And kind of things like that. And then you kind of think, you have to think to yourself too, it's not like these people were in an isolation chamber.
Right.
They know the tropes in horror. It's been on The Simpsons, TV shows. It's been spoofed in everything. So it's not like it would go over their heads completely.
It's not like Scream's a straight, like I was thinking about that last week too. It's not like it's a straight comedy where you have to get the trope.
Right. No,
it stands alone as its own movie.
Yeah, it's totally true. So Necroprancy says, I'm listening to the new episode. And the reason y'all were saying maybe, she's from the South, and the reason y'all were saying maybe Scream shouldn't be on the list just because it's so meta and a satire, but that's exactly why I put it on my list. I explained to her, I didn't know whether it belonged or not. And she said, no, it definitely does belong. I think it really sums up the mid to late 90s horror. Mm-hmm. I mean, even you all pointed out every other teen horror movie copied its vibe from then on out, which she's right. Yeah. And she gets a sticker for her submission because she
for proving that she's listened to our show.
Yeah,
that was pretty late on. Yeah.
Thank you. And then, but the reason she gets a sticker is because of this fact about Scream that I did not know. When Scream was written, Scream 2 and 3 were handed in at the same time.
Really?
Yeah, isn't that
I didn't know
interesting?
that either.
Yeah, well, Wes didn't write it.
Okay.
It was some other guy. But he gave them Scream. And then knowing that these studios were looking for franchises and stuff, immediately handed them 5-page outlines to 2 sequels.
Ballsy.
So awesome.
I like it.
Isn't that great?
That is
and that's
great.
probably why the continuity on those first 3 were pretty great.
Yeah, they were.
So anyway, great fact. Thank you, Necroprancy, and I'll read your list a little later. But in the meantime, I have no notes for this show because it's your list, and that is terrifying.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Fucking terrifying. Fucking terrifying. So, Joe, let's do it. Let's just jump right into it.
Actually, before I do my list, I would like to just spend a minute or two. This week, we learned the news that Roddy Piper has passed on, and we're both wrestling fans. We both like movies that he's been in. We both met him. So I just wanted to pay some respects to Roddy Piper.
I mean, we all know him from Hell Comes to Frogtown and that other little flick, They Live.
Right. Yeah.
If you've seen it, if you've caught that one. But definitely Hell Comes to Frogtown. I mean,
I do like Hell Comes to Frogtown.
It's not bad.
But I mean, They Live is one of my favorite movies of all time. All time. It's a top 10 favorite movie.
It's amazing.
Me. And like, while I was making my essential list, I could have easily put because I love John Carpenter. I could have easily put like 6 John Carpenter movies.
You said that
on
last time. You were thinking about doing all John.
Yeah, it would be a top 10 of all John
He's
Carpenter.
so good.
But I kept going back and forth with They Live, but that's not really a true horror movie, so it didn't make my list. But one of my favorite movies of all time. When we got to meet Piper, he was genuine. He was humble. He was such a nice guy.
So incredibly nice.
He signed posters for me. My fiance didn't have anything to sign, and he gave her a picture and signed it, just because she was there. And he was the only person that ever recorded a bumper for us.
Yes.
So
Yes. I mean, we've met people that we've tried to get bumpers from. Maybe now that we're associated with Fangoria, they'll take us like a little more seriously. But
Piper didn't even ask a question.
Piper didn't even blink.
Yeah.
Didn't even blink.
And we got to Piper late. Like, he had been doing this all day.
It was the end.
And,
it was the end of the road.
I'd like to think I'd be like that, happy to see people, but I'd be also tired.
And that line was huge. After 600 people telling you how much they loved you smashing a coconut over Jimmy Snuka's head, you want to go home and sleep.
Right. And he had to wrestle after that too. Like, he still had a whole night ahead of him. Yeah. But no, he was happy to do it. He made me feel like
he was super funny, and he made sure he did it. Like he asked us if it was okay.
Yeah.
Instead of just being like, there it is. That's what you get.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, listen to it, and if I'll do it again. Yeah.
It was crazy. It was insane. That sucked.
And he's one of my earliest memories of wrestling too. Like, my grandparents were born and raised in Ireland, so bagpipes were a big thing growing up. Yeah. So I fell in love with Roddy Piper coming down. Yeah,
probably a lot of Irish people did.
I did. Irish and Scottish.
It was, that was definitely a draw for me. But that was a bummer. Yeah. That sucks.
Total bummer.
That really sucks. And
I know I'm spoiling the mood, but I wouldn't feel right not paying some respects to them.
No, I mean, he's our bumper. And I debated whether I should even use him for the bumper for this episode or not, because I was kind of like, maybe I don't. Like, at first I was like, oh, got to use him for the bumper, like as tribute, but I don't know if that comes off as like, hey, we've got the dead guy on the show.
Advantage of the dead.
Yeah. I'm not okay with that. So I might skip this week and play it after that. And then maybe we'll actually get some real bumpers. Play the theme song. I don't want to get sued. WWF sues us. Although, how is bagpipe music even?
Yeah, I don't.
That's got to be like open.
Especially that.
That's got, what is that, public domain?
Yeah, it has to be.
Well, a happy birthday song's not.
I know, somebody bought the copyright for that, right?
Yeah, somebody owns it, yeah. That's pretty sweet. They're making a documentary all about the copyright of that song, and the woman had to pay $1,500 to use the song in the movie about the happy birthday song.
That is, I mean, whoever thought to do that is fucking genius.
It's crazy. It's so crazy. But anyway, guys, so that's that.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Roddy.
R.I.P. Roddy Piper. Super nice guy. That sucked. But on to Joe's list.
Okay, my list. Number 1. If I was going to show somebody a movie who had never seen a single horror flick in their entire life, I would start them with The Wolfman from 1941, Universal's monsters.
Lon Chaney.
Lon Chaney, Claude Rains.
Lon Chaney
Jr.
Jr. I will probably never call him that, FYI. This goes along the lines of John Carpenter's They Live for Me, where I'm just far too lazy to include that extra word or two.
The two letters after?
Yeah. No, Lon Chaney is amazing. The stories I've heard out of that movie are that Lon was like the nicest guy ever. Do you know he did all of his own makeup?
I did not know that.
I don't know if he did it on Wolfman. I can't imagine he did because that was pretty extensive makeup. But Phantom of the Opera.
Wow, that's good makeup.
That's crazy makeup. He did that all himself. He did all those stunts himself.
Wow.
He was doing all that, like, you know, I was like, or no, that's in he's in Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Okay.
He's in that movie, that silent film.
Yeah.
And in that movie, he's like jumping around and hanging from like the gargoyles and stuff. And he did that all himself.
Right.
And he's jumping around acting like a lunatic. And he did all that makeup himself too. Crazy.
Wow, that is crazy.
So, but yeah, Wolfman, one of my all-time favorites. Favorite monster ever.
If you've never seen a horror movie, I feel like, and we talked about this last week, there's some people who I wouldn't show this to because they might be bored of a black and white. But if you really wanted to appreciate horror and like the roots of it,
yep.
I mean, you can go back further. But I would just start you with the Universal era. And it was hard for me to choose because I love Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yep.
Dracula, the Frankenstein movies.
Yeah, it's really hard to choose.
But Wolfman, just something about it just stands out from the rest. I mean, everyone's familiar with the werewolf, and this movie was the first one to introduce turning into a werewolf through a bite. It was the first one to show that a silver bullet can kill the werewolf. The full moon, like this was the start of everything that you know about werewolves now. This is where it came from.
Yeah, and so I've read a bunch about these Universal monsters. It's one of my favorite eras, even though I did not include any of them. I just love them.
I do too.
And it's not hard for me to pick a favorite. I just love the Wolfman. But when you go online, people are very adamant about which ones they think are better movies than the others. And I think if you took like 10 people, you'd probably get like 5 different answers, 5 or 6.
You would.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's definitely split. It's definitely split. But to me, the Wolfman is perfection. I think it moves fast.
I was just going to say the pacing in it is good.
The pacing's fantastic. There's no lulls. Honestly, Dracula puts me asleep sometimes.
Dracula's kind of tough to sit through. I do like Dracula.
I love it. And that's the kind of story Dracula is, but man, I'm all about that Wolfman.
I am too.
Fucking jumping out of windows
and I love American Werewolf in London.
Yes.
So honestly, and I didn't know if I should put that one on my list, but there would be no American Werewolf in London without the Wolfman. So I would just start you with the Wolfman.
Yeah.
Get to know everything about the werewolves.
I think that's better. I mean, American Werewolf in London could definitely be on there, but I think Werewolf Wolfman is a much better one.
And I read that the movie Wolfman was a metaphor for the Nazis. The guy who wrote Wolfman was living in a country, I forget which one, that the Nazis were
really
turning everything upside down, and he wrote it. And the main character, Claude Rains' character, is in England, and his whole world's getting turned upside down by the wolf.
Shit.
So
that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
I love a good metaphor.
That's a great movie, though. Yeah, I love that movie so much. I love Wolfman.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with any of the Universal, but that would be my pick.
Did we talk about this on the show? I think we have once. Maybe Wolf Cop, the Wolf Cop episode. But did we talk about how no one ever explains like the backstory of werewolves anymore? They just assume everyone knows, and it's because of this movie.
Yeah.
Right? Like we talked about it. Like there's no werewolf movie where they're like, well, why? It's always somebody gets bit by a werewolf, but no one's like, well, where the fuck that werewolf come from?
Right. There's always just one there.
There's always just one there. And they're like, just go watch The Wolfman and figure it out.
I mean, it's true. I mean, like I said before, this is the one that introduced everything about. They didn't create it. There's been the mythos for hundreds of years, but this is the one that put it all into film. This is where everything you see now comes from.
The gypsies.
Yep.
But like now in werewolf movies, you
just know.
It's just common
knowledge.
That werewolf just bit him. Like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's how it is in American Werewolf in London.
Exactly. It's exactly that. Like,
oh yeah, pub and
what just attacked me?
Wolfman.
Oh, I don't know. It might be a werewolf. What the fuck? And everyone's okay with that. But So yeah, that's a great pick. I love that pick.
So yeah, that was pick 100%.
And that was definitely on my list of items I wanted to put on.
Pick number 2 was on your list, and that would be 1973's The Exorcist.
Awesome. I did have something to add to that.
Okay.
So I've probably told this story 100 times, but I remember the first time I watched it, my dad turned it off, and I was like, "Well, it was pretty good. Like, wasn't too scared though." And then he's like, "Oh, check this out." And then he put the record of Tubular Bells on the record player and just blasted it. And I was like, "Okay, now I'm scared."
Tubular Bells. Fucking terrifying.
So scared.
Can't hear that.
And he just blasted it on vinyl. A fucking record
So you
player.
hear like the scratches.
Yeah.
It
So
makes it even eerier.
dude, and it was so loud. He was cranking it. I don't know why. And he was like, "Yeah, this is really good."
Maniac.
And I was like, I was just sitting there in silence, and I was just like, "Yeah, I think it's time for bed. I think it's time for bed. I gotta go to bed." And I remember so vividly, I was afraid to walk down the hall to my bedroom.
That's what The Exorcist does to you.
Yeah, and it's crazy.
Like we talked about last week, if you've never seen a horror movie and you want to be scared, you watch the fucking Exorcist.
You watch The Exorcist.
And if you're not scared, I said it last week, you're lying to me.
And actually, the other fun thing I remembered while thinking about The Exorcist, that was the very first DVD we owned.
Was it?
In our house. When we first bought DVDs in like 99, I think it was 98. 98. It was WrestleMania 15 because I also bought that right after. Because I was like, Exorcist's great, but where's the fucking wrestling?
Yeah, my first DVD was Pearl Harbor.
Well, that's
2001.
Let's just skip over that.
But yeah, I mean, and on top of just being a great film, sorry.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Pazuzu. It was the first horror film to be nominated for an Academy Award.
Oh, I did not know that fact.
I mean, the lines in it are just like 1973. You have a little girl yelling at a priest. Your mother sucks cocks in hell.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean,
yeah,
it's unbelievable.
Crazy. We talked about this on our Facebook page with that guy Brian was involved in it. That Joseph Magnuson was in it. This was 73, huh?
Yeah.
Well, we were talking about Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and
which is the following year.
Yeah, so that's 74. So those two movies, I think, while they're so different, they just set these two different standards for horror. And one is this super well made, terrifying, existential type of film.
Yeah.
And the other one's like, you're not safe anywhere.
Exactly.
Stay in your house. And but both extremely graphic for the time.
Yeah.
I felt like.
And I don't think people like now
even appreciate that.
Yeah, realize how much it changed things. Like Linda Blair needed bodyguards after making this film.
Really?
People were like putting threats on her life because it was like going against all their values and everything they stand for.
Oh, so that's interesting.
The studio hired bodyguards to be with her at all times.
That's interesting.
Could you imagine one of like the young stars today just having to have a bodyguard because of one film that they made?
There's some movies that we just can't review on this show just because there's nothing to talk about. Like we could literally talk about every scene, but it's like whatever. Exorcist to me is one of them. Why talk about it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like everyone's seen it.
It's easier to like pick things apart, and there's nothing. I mean, it's just beautifully made.
It's amazing. But
even the subliminal shots of that demon face in the corner, it's just
so
crazy.
Ridiculous. But what I was going to say was what we should talk about is I don't know if there is one. Find a documentary about the making of that movie.
I think there's a couple.
I think there is too, because my understanding it was a completely fucked up situation. Like the director pushed everyone to the limits.
I'm pretty sure a lot of the actors have like lasting like back problems from like
Linda Blair got hurt really bad in the bed because she was on a fucking
and Ellen Bernstein. Yes, that's right. That's right.
Whipping her up and down in that one scene, and
one of the priests right before the shot. I think I saw one on TV when I was still at my parents' house.
I might have
because one of the priests in the movie was a real priest in real life, and he still is, and he's like a professor too at some college, some Christian college. And I remember him talking about being like locked in rooms at like sub-zero temperatures.
Yeah.
Like for hours.
Yeah. Well, it was that bedroom.
Yeah.
To make, because when the steam's coming off, they just froze the room.
He said like there's one scene where he was supposed to be like shaken, and like William Friedkin, the director, like called him over just to like talk to him, and right before he was like action, just slapped him across the face, and then just started filming. So the guy was like trembling because he just got slapped in the face and like had to read his lines. But I mean, the way that they shot it, like everything was just so precise,
that's so crazy.
Intense.
That is so wild. Yeah, we should talk about a documentary about that though, because I bet there's some wild stories out there, or like a book on it. Or we got to find something because it sounds incredible.
Yeah.
Before we go on to your next, I just wanted to say I am drinking tonight, even though I'm sick. So
huge fucking beer.
My wife, you need to split this. But I picked it because of our podcast. Wait.
What?
I picked it because of the Fangoria news. And it is a Lucky Bastard ale from, I know this brand, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. What's the name of this stupid dragon on it or demon on it?
What?
this brand.
You interrupted my list for this?
Oh boy, this is really bad, right? Oh, arrogant. What's the name of this brand?
I don't know. I've never seen it before.
With the Arrogant Bastard.
Is that the name of it? Angry Orchard.
Continue your fucking list.
I mean, do you want me to Google it?
No, I'm cool. Just continue with your list. I gotta stop drinking that. It's 8.5%. I haven't eaten all day because I've been sick. I'm gonna pass out. I'm already sweating. All right, Joe, what's next on the list?
So
I'm gonna edit that all out in there and be like, wow, they really lost a lot of momentum between The Exorcist and the third movie. Like, that's weird. Like, they really ran out of steam fast this week.
The next one is, we just mentioned, 1974's Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
Not really much to say other than what we talked about last week.
We really covered that. Just again, we had a conversation on Facebook about it that I thought was really engaging. Brian, that was lame. But it was really cool. Like I was actually interested in our conversation, what everyone had to say. This Brian on our Facebook page made some great points, but the first thing was, he said, I think this is the first like hillbilly killer family.
Yeah, I mean, he brought up Deliverance, but this is like this like ups it. It's like Deliverance on steroids.
Yeah, Deliverance is definitely different.
Yep,
it's
it's
definitely different.
Apples to oranges.
Yeah. This was definitely just, and we talked about this being the first movie possibly to say based on true events, despite it not actually being. And I know there's an argument to be made that it's Ed Gein, but like that's just so piecemeal and stuff like that. But I mean, so good.
Yeah, and
one of my favorites.
Again,
I can't get.
I'm not going to spend too much time because we talked about it last week. But if you've never seen a horror movie, this is just imagine.
You're talking about the 2004 one, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Is there a 2002, 3, or whatever?
Yeah, something like that. No, I'm not talking about that.
Oh.
But
2011 one.
God damn it!
Was it the 3D one?
Was it? I don't know. I saw the
I haven't seen it.
The Jessica Biel one, and that was enough. But if you've never seen it, who doesn't have a fear of being lost somewhere and helpless? And
that's the key to that movie, man.
Getting abducted.
You're already fucking afraid of being lost, and then to imagine pulling into a gas station. Where...
I mean, think about how annoyed. Like, some of our listeners might not know this. Before we had GPSs, we actually had to use like maps and MapQuest. And I used to, when I was in high school, I went to New Jersey and I got so lost in like the Bronx, which it was just not rural. And I was so annoyed, and you have to stop everywhere and ask for directions. No one can help you ever.
It's so annoying to get lost, and no one can experience it anymore. I had to drive to Pennsylvania recently, and I lost service on my way back. And I mean, dude, like this was not any like dirt roads, this isn't a city in Pennsylvania. This was like Quaker town.
Yeah.
And it was just farms everywhere. And I lost service, and like it was kind of keeping track of me, and I did something and everything was gone. And I was like, well, now I'm straight fucked.
Yeah.
Like now I'm straight up fucked. And I ended up just driving straight. I almost got hit by another car because I wasn't paying attention. And I was like, dread hadn't set in, but I was almost ready to panic, and I didn't even know what I would do at that point because no cell service. Like, we rely so heavily on our phones. No one's got a fucking paper map in their car anymore.
Yeah, I know. And if you did, they wouldn't know how to like read it.
What's the matter with me? Like, I was so pissed about that.
I mean, that's what makes the film work well. You're in a foreign place, and you're around psychos.
And that's why we talked about, like, you don't really need a refresher on that because that is still a legitimate fear.
And I was thinking Leatherface is so effective because he doesn't talk. He just makes those noises.
Oh my God. The most horrible noises
ever. And he's
ever.
A huge guy. He's just like,
his body shape.
Wearing lipstick.
His body shape is disgusting. I'm sorry, Gunnar Hansen, but your body in that is like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's not even like a fat guy. It's just like...
No, it's just monstrous. That's what it is.
It's just a big, weird body. And yeah, it's terrifying, right?
I wish, because when we were at the Connecticut convention, a lot of them were there from the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And I wish I had read this before, because the guy who plays the grandpa apparently like refused to put on his makeup. So he was just like, I need to shoot everything right now. So they did like a 13-hour take. And the guy who plays the hitchhiker, Ed Neal, said that the dinner scene was the worst experience of his life. And he was in the Vietnam War. Wait, because they just did it over and over and over again. It was like 100 degrees.
Oh my God. That is the best. That is the best fact I've ever heard in my life. That makes me so happy. I do wish I knew that before.
I wish I asked Grandpa. I was like, dude, why didn't you just,
why didn't you
spread it out a little bit?
Why not? Like, what's your problem? He's big balling Texas Chainsaw. Like,
yeah.
No one on there was well known.
No, none of them.
Guess what?
You're still
not well known. God, that is so funny. Worst experience of his life, and he was in the Vietnam War.
Yeah, in the Vietnam War.
That is so...
Which was only like 5 years before, so he's it's probably still fresh in his mind. Yeah.
Oh my God, that is amazing fact. I'm so glad you told that.
But yeah, that has it all. All the disgusting family, the kills.
God, we talk about Grandpa all the time. He should be like our spokesperson. We love to hate Grandpa from Texas Chainsaw.
He's disgusting.
He's so disgusting.
All right, my next film. What was that? Number 3?
Oh my God. Yes.
Yes. So number 4. I'm going in chronological order. Number 4, 1975, Steven Spielberg, motherfucking Jaws.
Oh, okay. I thought this was... Oh, yeah, Steven Spielberg. I was thinking something else. Sorry.
What were you thinking of?
Nothing. E.T. No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
I'm totally kidding. Jaws. So, sell me on Jaws. We had kind of had a conversation recently that I'm probably going to bring back up. But
so Jaws.
Talk about Jaws for a minute.
And it was kind of tough because you might say to me, well, Jaws isn't horror. And to that I say, go fuck yourself. Because it's a creature feature. And it's so effective. Like, we live on the shoreline. And like, I don't think I realized I was afraid of sharks until I saw Jaws. And I think it was effective to people who lived in like South Dakota because they're not near the shoreline. Yeah. They're like, holy shit, there's gigantic
I'm never going to
fucking sharks out there. They're just going to ruin my entire vacation.
Yeah.
And just everything about it, the way it was shot, the way the acting in it, the soundtrack, and the shark. I mean, it's a great monster.
What year was that made?
75.
Okay. So I'm with you on the creature feature thing. I think you're right. I think as time goes on, it won't be considered a horror movie. Only because the creature feature is gone now. You know what I mean? That concept is gone.
True, but would you say Latin is not a language because it's gone?
Yeah.
But
I fucking hate Latin. Latin is dead. It's useless.
All right, fine.
If you know Latin, you're a jerk. And I'm talking to you, my brother-in-law Dylan. It's a fucking ridiculous thing to know. Don't. Just bury it. Let it be dead.
But it's still a language, just like Jaws is a creature.
Is it? Listen, here's the only point that I would make. Here's the only point that I would make about it. And by the way, I'm totally okay with Jaws being a horror film, but it's just something I think about a lot because I don't like Jaws really. I don't. The shark thing doesn't do it for me. Big fan of monsters. I know.
Jaws is like.
And listen, I'm gonna get some flack for that because everyone gets on the bandwagon. Like once it's considered the fucking gem, it's the gem.
But it is.
It is. No, it is. It's very good. And it's not to say it's not. I just don't like shark movies, really.
That's fine.
That's what it is.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
But if you had to watch a shark movie, which one would you go to?
Jaws.
Jaws,
because
right.
The rest are complete dog shit.
Listen, you don't need to tell me. I've seen about 14 shark movies in the last 2 weeks.
But what I would say, here's my question. Is Jurassic Park a horror movie? And I don't even care if the answer is yes. How about that?
All right.
I'm not trying to prove you wrong. I think.
Well, it sure seems like it, Sean.
No, I think Jurassic Park is a horror movie.
I think it could be considered.
I rewatched 1 and I watched World.
Okay.
Recently. One is a horror movie. Like they are stalking them.
That's what I'm saying. That's why Jaws is like a slasher.
Yeah. No, I'm okay with the answer. I it's just something I think about.
I mean, would you consider them a horror movie?
The ants?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
so then
yeah, no, you're right. You're right. No, and I'm with you.
Which is scarier, those ants or Jaws?
I'm actually okay them. I'm actually okay with
the choice.
With it being horror and with the choice. It's just something I like to think about because it really isn't. It's one of the few that's really.
It is a good question. I'd like to know what everyone else thinks.
It rides a very fine line that not a lot of movies do. There's not a lot of horror movies where you're like, I don't think that was a horror movie. Well, somebody got their fucking head chopped off and like put on a stake. So yeah,
that's true. I mean, I guess somebody you could say like Nightcrawler. Like, is that a horror movie?
I kind of thought it was.
I kind of did too.
I kind of felt
Guest,
like because it's a thriller.
Yeah.
Like yeah. So there's not a lot on that line, but there are, and it just depends how you look at it. And to me, like honestly, the shark thing never scared me. But that's because I was like, I don't know. Maybe I was desensitized. My parents let me watch a lot of TV. I watched New Jack City when I was like 10.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no. My dad was like,
so you have zero.
Don't swear.
You have zero fear of sharks?
No.
So if you went swimming right now and you heard an announcement there'd be sharks.
So here's my thing. And my wife will attest to this. And you're kind of the same way. I just don't put myself in danger. I won't go into a lion area. I won't go into shark infested waters. I don't even like going to the beach, frankly. I hate the beach.
Yeah, I don't either.
I fucking hate the beach. It's sand and shit, and it's awful. But that's it. I'm not afraid of them.
Nah.
If I saw like a shark fin, I'd be like, all right, time to get out of the water.
Yeah. Well, yeah, me too, but I'd be a little more drastic about it.
I don't know. They don't scare me. They don't like, I don't go in the ocean and be like, boy, I hope a shark doesn't get me today.
All right. Well, then I'm sticking with it.
It should be on the list. It totally should be on the list.
Especially if you've never seen. See, here's my logic to it.
That's a great intro.
If you had never seen a horror movie,
that's something to watch.
I'm not going to show you, Grizzly or Beaks.
God, did you see Grizzly?
Yeah, I did. God. I want to see Grizzly too. I guess apparently there's parts of it up on YouTube.
Really?
George Clooney was attached to it.
I was listening to that with you. Yeah. Yeah. No, count me out on that.
So I mean, that's why if you'd never seen it, I love it. And I want to show you Creature Feature. I'm not going to make you sit through them. I'm not going to make you sit through Grizzly. Maybe the Birds, but I would go with Jaws.
Birds is almost on my list. But I don't even consider Birds see, and I think Jaws, so my point about the Creature Feature thing was not to knock it. It's better than a Creature Feature. That's the problem. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I'm with you that it is a creature feature. And that's why I think at that time, because there were so many creature features, I think that's how it kind of got lumped into horror. I think if it was released today, I don't think people would really consider it horror. I think it would be in that Nightcrawler thriller area. Just because people have more access to like their Shark Week.
But what was Open Water? But yeah, Shark Week's everyone loving sharks. Was Open Water horror considered horror when it came out?
I don't know, but that movie I was talking about the other day, I couldn't remember the name of it, and I wanted to, is that when they're just doggy paddling?
Yeah, there's not even like a shark.
6 hours.
They're just, yeah.
I don't know.
But I remember liking it.
I've never seen it, and I was like, oh, I got to watch that. I just
I think it was considered horror, and you don't even see the sharks.
No.
So Jaws would be.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, but it's just an interesting line. I think it would be more in the realm of Nightcrawler, the new one.
It's a good debate.
And like The Guest. I think it would be in that same vein of, well, is it really horror or are we just going to call it horror? Which is fine too.
Let us know what you guys think.
Yeah, tell us what you guys think. All you new Fangoria listeners who are listening are like, I fucking hate you, Sean. I'm going to kill you for saying this about Jaws, for even questioning it. But anyway, I know you have another one on this list that I have a similar feeling about.
Was it the 1980 found footage one?
No.
Oh.
Continue though.
Okay. Oh, I think I know what one it is. All right, so number 5, 1977, Dario Argento's Suspiria. I love Argento. He's one of my favorite directors ever. I had to put one on the list. If you had never seen horror, I could have gone with Deep Red, or I could have gone with Inferno or Phenomena.
Deep Red. I hate Deep Red.
But But I would
just throw my 2 cents. We did an episode about Deep Red. You could check it out, but I was not a fan.
I mean,
it wasn't bad. I was a little overcritical. Granted, we were both like watching copy, or no, I was watching a copy that was like multilingual, so
right.
That kind of pissed me off a little bit.
But Argento, one of the best, and Suspiria. You don't get a lot of good witch movies in the horror genre.
No,
and I could, if somebody's never seen a horror movie, you could just show them slasher after slasher or haunted house after haunted house. But I want to switch it up. There's a witch movie, and it's fucking Suspiria, and it has everything. It has the color, it has the sound, it has the gore, it has the scares.
I mean, it's going to melt their brain for sure. The only reason I didn't put it was because it was foreign. I was kind of sticking with like an Americanish theme, only because again we were kind of talking. We were completely overanalyzing this list, and I was like, well, who am I going to show this to? That needs to be American. Like, oh, no, it doesn't. Just make the fucking list of good movies. But Suspiria is so good. I saw it so late in the game, just this last year. And
really?
Yeah. Oh. It was after, actually, last year I saw it because it was after our Halloween episode on the old podcast that we had. And you were like, have you ever seen Suspiria? And I was like, no. And you were like, turn this off.
Disgusted, yeah.
And
I mean, it just shows you like horror movies can be like beautiful. It's like almost like an art film, like just the way it was set up. The colors of it.
Here's what I'll say: I think Deep Red was definitely more along the lines of an art film because you just watching scenes and you're like, okay, like I'm watching this guy stab a lizard, and it's just like these zoom in shots of a lizard, and I'm like, what the fuck? Suspiria, you're right. It does have that sort of feel to it, but not overly to where you're like, okay, what's going on? It is just beautiful. Beautiful. Just a guy with great taste making a movie.
Yeah, and then the climax, the opening scene, just right off the bat, is just in your face, just...
Dude.
I mean, you're already on the edge of your seat, and then you have like a beautiful gore shot. And that's just the opening scene, and you're just like, holy shit.
And you're really not sure what's going on.
No, you're not at that point.
Oh, that movie is great. That movie is fantastic. You're right. And
I spread out well.
I fell in love
like, it's
so hard when I saw it.
I mean, the gore's it's not just like gore for the sake of gore. It's spread out. There's an actual story, and then it's like interspiced with brutal scenes involving like razor wire and dog and
everything is just so weird in that. The lighting, it's so crazy. Even like the not gory scenes are great. The bugs.
Yeah.
The bugs are, man, it's wild. It was great and told a great story where I think some of like Deep Red and stuff kind of tailed off or lost my interest. This never lost my interest. It always kept me guessing.
And it's about witches that aren't like hocus pocus or shit like that. Like
I don't know a lot of good witch movies.
Yeah, I don't either.
We should do a
witch night. The Craft. Oh god.
Have you ever seen that
95 movie? Nat Campbell.
I think I saw it in elementary school, but I don't.
It's been a while. I don't remember it either.
I don't think
I would like it.
No, I think I'd hate it, which is why I want to talk about it. I think it's really dated, and I think it would be really hilarious.
Dude, I will compile a list later of like every witch movie. We should just have a witch night.
As long as witching and bitching is on it.
I haven't seen that yet.
Oh my god, it's so fucking good. Huh. Oh my god, I should have put it on my list. It's that good.
Wow.
I love it so much. It is so goddamn funny. It's ridiculous.
I'll check it out.
Oh, it's so good.
What's next on your list? Suspiria, that was number 5.
Yeah, so that's a great pick.
Number 6, I don't know what to say about it because I feel like we talk about it all the time, but it's 1978 John Carpenter's Halloween.
Yeah, I think we can go.
We
talk about it all the time because we both suck at D and or V.
It's one of the all-time greats. Has a great villain, great story, great acting,
beautiful Jamie Lee.
Yeah,
who's going to be our Valentine this year?
Again,
that's a great episode.
Oh, you're asking who's going to be it? Yeah,
that's gonna. Guys, if you're new to the show, check out the Valentine's Day special. I think that was a solid ep.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
That was fun to do. Well, it was not fun to watch all of them.
No. What?
I had to watch that Stacy Keach one.
Yeah, I did not watch that. I
just think I liked.
I refused to watch. Yeah, that was great. She was our Valentine. We chose Jamie Lee as our group Valentine this year, and it was awesome.
We watched all her movies.
Yeah, she's great.
Well, I did.
She's such a babe. Well, if you want to include, what was it called? Like Road Games?
Yeah, something like
Something
that.
stupid. It was like Australian too.
It was, isn't it? Like the genre was called like Ozploitation.
So weird.
With the two lead characters not being Australian.
No. Shipped in. Great. That's smart. Oh, God.
So Halloween was the choice.
Yeah, and I don't think we have to discuss that.
That's fine. Was that on your list?
It's perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like I said, I could put
that was like my slasher. That was like, I wanted to include a slasher.
Same.
I think that one's perfect.
Same. Like I wouldn't, you said it last week. Like you could put Friday the 13th, but you know, if you've never seen a horror movie, you still probably know who Jason is.
Yeah.
You know, he's not the main killer in that one.
Yeah, and you'd be very confused.
Yes.
You'd be very confused. You'd be like, oh yeah, I've heard of this. Oh, wait, Jason's that weird thing in the lake at the very end? That's it?
Yeah.
What? Like, no.
Exactly.
Like, that sucks.
So Halloween would be the slasher pick. But again, I could put any Carpenter. I could put Assault on Precinct 13. I could put The Thing, which I went back and forth with about putting The Thing on mine because it's so fucking good.
Did you end up putting it on?
I did not.
I did.
I know.
I love it.
It's so good.
It's so great.
In the Mouth of Madness.
I don't know if I've seen that.
Oh, it's fucking good.
Assault on Precinct 13 is great.
Yes.
What's next?
John Carpenter's Vampires.
Wow, that's a really interesting choice.
It's not on my list.
Oh, I was about to say, that is so weird. I can't believe you did that.
No, it's not.
Wow. I don't think I would have been mad.
Yeah, you know, we were talking about Carpenter, and I was like, that's probably the least respected of them. But Ghost of Mars.
I'm trying to think about who was in Vampires.
Wasn't it like John Bon Jovi?
Oh, no. Oh, that's not the one I'm thinking of.
Wait, I don't know. Is that true?
That's what I was...
He's in some vampire movie.
Oh, no. Is it that one? I think you might be right. I was thinking...
Ice Cube?
Excuse our typing. That's we both. Oh, no. This is not what I'm talking about. Okay, this is 1998.
Was...
No, James Woods.
Oh, no. Bon Jovi's in Vampire Los Muertos, which might be like, it might be like an indirect sequel.
Oh, really?
It's fucking terrible.
Oh, yeah. James Woods is in this one. I remember seeing this though, and I think I actually liked it.
I remember nothing about it, but I do love John Carpenter. But anyways, my next choice is from the same year as Halloween 1978's Dawn of the Dead.
Awesome.
Which I give it this spot instead of Night of the Living Dead because it's basically like Night of the Living Dead, just pumped full of steroids and amphetamines and in color.
Yes, I agree. Dawn of the Dead is shopping mall?
Shopping mall.
So, yeah, okay. So I get them confused sometimes. Dawn of the Dead is a blast.
It's so fun.
Yeah, that's a good one to pick. I mean, if you're not going to pick the first, if you're not going to pick Night of, Dawn is...
And like I said, sometimes watching in color is a little bit easier for people, if you've never seen it, you might want to watch it in color. And this one, there's something about like it's genuinely terrifying. And at the same time, it's fun because if shit's going down and you're in the mall, like what a better place to be. You have everything right there for you.
I mean, video games have ripped it off now.
Yeah.
The zombie video games have ripped it off. Yeah. They've made mall sequences because the concept is so amazing. Like that's the one when I talk about the zombie apocalypse, which I think is I used to talk about this before zombies were this weird thing that everyone talks about. What happened?
There was such an insert. Like, it's very weird because...
It kind of pisses me off.
I hear that because when we were in high school, like, nobody really talked about zombies. And, like, zombies, like I was obsessed with the first three Romero movies because he hadn't done Diary of the Dead or Land of the Dead. I talked
about Romero all the time.
Like Dawn of the Dead was like Bible to me.
Yeah.
All I talked about. Like we would watch it all the time. Even Day of the Dead with Bubs and stuff.
That's funny because I was like a Night of the Living Dead guy. Like that's what I would show people before I got onto like some of the
even the remake
stuff.
of it. Like those were like the zombie movie, Return of the Living Dead. And then after they remade Dawn of the Dead in like 2004, there was just like an explosion of zombie movies.
Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of it and like Walking Dead and stuff. And now it's just commonplace and everyone's like, oh yeah, I love zombies. But yeah, it used to be a lot more fun to talk about. Now I kind of hide it. Now I kind of hide it because I don't want people to
I think it was just because there wasn't so many being shoved down your throat.
Yeah,
but
for
you
sure.
mentioned the video games and there's TV shows and it's just everywhere
crazy.
now.
But yeah, but the fun thing that I always thought was super fun from the time I was in like elementary school was, okay, zombie outbreak. What do you do?
Yeah.
What do you do? What's your game plan? Do you put your back to water? Like, what's your goal? Because I kind of think zombies are going to come out of the water. My personal belief.
Well, have you seen Zombie 2? They're fucking up sharks down there.
They are. But like, I mean, if zombies are coming alive all over Earth, they're going to be coming out of the ocean too. There's a lot of pirates down there.
Yeah, there is. A lot of shipwrecks.
Yeah.
A lot of mafia hits.
Yeah. Well, they have cement blocks, so they're not going anywhere. But do you put your back to water or do you know what I mean? Like you think of these cool concepts, but like the best concept to think about after I saw Dawn of the Dead was like the mall. Because you have everything at your disposal.
You have food courts. You have
music
sports stores. You have music. You have video
music
games.
Just playing all day, making you insane.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. Yeah, they filmed in a real mall, and I guess like their permit allowed them to start filming at 10, and the mall didn't open until 9, so they could technically go till 9, but they had to stop at 6 every day because the mall music would turn on and nobody could figure out how to turn it off.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's really funny. The that was also, I don't know if we talked about it on the show, or if we talked about it privately, the scene with what's that guy's name? We're gonna see him at Scaricon. He's gonna be there.
Ken Foray?
Yeah.
Mr. Rockmore?
Where he offers to complete an abortion for that woman. The weirdest scene of all time. Oh, yeah, because we were going to make a coffee table book.
Yes.
Called Unanswered Horror Questions, which is, how does Ken Foray know how to perform an abortion?
Yeah.
He's not a doctor. And he genuinely asks. It's not like, I'm going to push you down the stairs. Like, you bitch. Like, nothing like that. It's like, would you like me to perform an abortion on you? She's like, oh, no, thanks.
Yeah.
So strange.
It is
So strange. And Tom Savini getting his blood pressure taken.
Did you know Tom Savini did the stunts in that movie?
No.
Like they couldn't afford anything else, so he was just doing the stunts. They had like no real stunt man. Yeah.
Poor Tom Savini. Before he was like super well known, and he's like, yeah, I need dinner tonight too. So.
Needs to pay the bills. I'm just gonna jump through this window 50 times before they get the cut right.
And have like 6 people jump on top of him just as zombies.
But no, Dawn of the Dead, I mean, you know, if you've seen Shaun of the Dead or you've seen pretty much any zombie movie since, it just takes from it. Like the zombies reaching through the windows, trying to fight them off. Yeah.
And poor George Romero, who lost his copyright to Night of the Living Dead. It was nice to see that he followed it up with something equally as impressive that he could make money on.
I would, in my opinion, even more impressive.
Yeah, I agree. I
one of my favorite movie. Like sequel, like if you were to ask me what sequel outshines the original, that's one of them.
That's a good one. Yeah. That's a good one. I like it.
That and The Howling 2.
I've never seen that one.
It's terrible.
Well, The Howling 1 wasn't a blast for me.
I love The Howling 1.
Really?
Yeah. The next pick, which is number 7. 7? Sure. 7.
Whatever.
1979. A lot of them from the 70s here. 1979. Ridley
Golden
Scott.
Era.
Alien.
This is
the one I knew you were going to say that. Yeah.
I do think it's horror though.
Mm-hmm.
I do think it's horror. It's just an interesting choice.
So I can see the argument, which is why I didn't put They Live on, because you could say no, it's just sci-fi. However, this is kind of like Jaws. This can also be considered like a creature feature because they're in some unknown terrain, and that alien is a creature, and it is just hunting them down.
I mean, it's a fucking monster.
It's a monster. Yeah.
It's a fucking monster.
It's a monster.
That's not like, so to me, Predator is more in the sci-fi realm because he's got fucking like laser guns.
Yeah, right.
He's using weapons. That's war.
Yeah.
That's an alien creature performing an act of war against the world.
And it's an intelligent being. Like
the alien is just there.
It just wants to fuck your day up.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, get the fuck out of my house. My house is space and you're dead.
It's like Jason of space.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You're right. And
why did they not do a crossover? Jason's already been to space.
Because the alien would just eat Jason.
Well, would it though? I mean, Ripley fought it. I feel like Jason would hold his own.
I want to see Ripley versus Jason. Should be like, what the fuck? No, this is a great choice. Alien is so. It's just something else you have to think about too with a horror movie, right? Like the music, the tone it sets for you. It's not just like, that's why maybe like Nightcrawler and things like that kind of we think fall into it, because it just sits like The Guest. Like, come on, you listen to The Guest score. That's a John Carpenter movie. Yeah, that's fucking horror. Right. Like, stop it. Like, just stop it. And maybe that's part of it too that people don't realize. You don't focus so much on the story or that there's a creature in it, but the overall atmosphere. And Alien is horror.
Alien is horror, and something that I love about Alien is the pacing, because it actually starts off kind of slow. Like you're in space. It's just showing you the astronauts. You know that they're far away from. They're just helpless. Well, setting up the tone of being helpless.
Yeah, setting this tone of how far out we are. Like we're so advanced that we're not even close. You can't help us.
And then they find the alien ship and they're just looking at it, and you see like little creatures, and then it just sets you up with just really terror. I mean, honestly, to this day, one of the scariest scenes I've ever seen is when Tom Skerritt's character is down the shaft with his flamethrower.
Oh my God.
Looking to see what's moving around, and the rest of the crew is monitoring like movement, and something's coming at him, and you can't see because it's pitch dark.
Yeah.
He lights up the flamethrower, and that huge ass alien is right there.
Yeah.
I mean, even to this day, I know it's coming. It still makes me jump.
Do you play scary video games, horror video games?
Not really, to be honest with you.
Neither do I. And this movie brings that effect to film, and it's a hard effect to pull off, where it's like darkness ahead of you, and it's like, well, what the fuck is out there?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want you to leave, Ripley, I don't want you to leave this room. Just like lock the doors and just try and get to Earth. Like that's what you want. And you don't get that, obviously, because the movie has to go somewhere. but it's that horrible. And I mean, I jump so much in Alien.
I do too.
Of that. And that's why I don't play horror video games, is because I don't want to have a heart attack like by myself in my bedroom playing video games. Like, very depressing. That's a sad end to your life. But it's the same thing with Alien. I jump so hard at all of those scenes because
when the face hugger jumps out the first
just
time,
don't know. Like, and everything is so fast. The alien is so fast. It just scares the crap out of you.
Yeah, and like even when Harry Dean Stanton's character is looking for that cat, and you know, like just the way that he filmed it, you know the alien's in that room.
Oh yeah,
and like you know that he's coming out.
Yeah,
and like if someone was watching this for the first time ever, like even they would pick up on like fuck.
Yeah,
shit's about to go down.
Exactly.
And it still like builds up so well that even though you know it's coming, you're still surprised. Like, oh fuck.
It's one of those ones you try to talk yourself in your head. Like you're like, okay, I know it's coming. Don't jump. It's coming. It's coming. And then you jump and you're like, God damn it.
Exactly.
Like damn it. And I that drives me insane.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because I can't control it or whatever. But
it's not like cheap jump scares. It's not jump scares for the sake of being a jump scare.
And are jump scares cheap? I don't know. We had that conversation once.
Some are,
I guess. I guess if that's what you're relying on, but
if it's like every 2 seconds, not what you're relying every 2 seconds, someone just shutting a mirror and there's a face behind it.
I love when you use that analogy because it's so funny. It's so true. You shut the mirror and look down at the same time, and there's a face behind it, but you just fail to witness it. I fucking see shadows everywhere. I'd see a fucking face in the mirror, even if I was bending down at the same time.
Yeah. Or you just feel someone's presence standing over your shoulder.
Oh man, what's next? What number?
Next, we're on number 9, so we're almost done.
Oh wow,
almost done. Number 9 was not on your list either. This is from 1980. It's one of my all-time favorites in like any genre. My fiance refuses to watch it with me.
Ooh,
Cannibal Holocaust.
Don't show this to your fiance. That is terrible. I watched this and well, I would not show it to my
So, all right, so here's the thing. If somebody's never seen horror before, this might not be the best movie. However, if somebody came to me and was like, I want to watch it. I've never seen a horror movie. I want to watch something that's just going to fuck shit up. Like, it's going to ruin my day. This is what I would show them.
Yeah.
Like, you want your day?
No, I'm with you.
You want to be terrified? Watch this movie.
I'm with you. And some people are like that. I mean, when I got into horror, I wasn't like, all right, please show me the most delicate.
Yeah.
Please don't scare me too much.
That's what I wanted to tell you about Texas Chainsaw. I read somewhere that Toby Hooper was like really disappointed that it didn't get a PG rating when he submitted it to the
What? What? That's absurd. That I'm actually furious right now. So furious.
He was like shocked. So furious. Didn't get a PG rating.
Oh my God.
But Cannibal Holocaust, if you haven't seen it, this kind of sets, 1980 is pretty much the first found footage film. They're looking for reporters who went into the Amazon, was it Amazon? Some jungle to, do a report on this tribe. They disappeared. They find their footage. They watch the footage, and it's basically just a found footage movie of these atrocities that are happening in this cannibalistic tribe.
By the way, found footage done right. Go figure.
It really was, dude.
Go figure. Go figure. Somebody figured out, if it's found footage, let's pretend like we're compiling it or base another movie around it.
Yeah, it starts off with the character finding the main character's videotape.
Christ, it's not that hard, 2015. You have to film 15 minutes of real footage like they did. And then you've got a movie that makes sense about quote-unquote found footage.
Exactly.
It drives me nuts. It's driving me insane.
I know it's considered like a schlock film, in poor taste, but it's actually really well done.
Well, we could get into the murder of animals and the potential murder of humans.
And I do not condone the murder of animals, but however, he filmed in a real tribe, and they were going to kill those animals anyways. Yeah, so his philosophy behind it was, I'll just film them.
I'm actually okay with it. Although I think one of the white guys does it too.
Right.
But I guess I'm okay with it.
I mean, there are some that are brutal to watch.
You're talking about, I'm sure that the white guy killing, I think it was a rabbit or a mouse. Or maybe I'm getting it mixed up with Make Them Die Slow. Yeah. Maybe I'm getting it mixed up with that because I don't know. But even if they did, I doubt they were okay, toss that carcass over in the jungle. I'm sure they were hey, here you go.
Yeah,
people that eat this.
Yeah.
I'm sure he wasn't throw it in the garp. What?
Right. And I mean, I do admit it is pretty brutal to watch.
Plus, if you leave that dead shit around, I'm sure fucking tigers are going to come kill you. So I don't think that was really wise if they did.
Right.
Great movie though.
The imagery when you see those ladies impaled on those poles,
dude, that was insane.
Yeah. It's one of for me one of the most iconic horror images I've ever seen.
One of the most brutal.
And this movie was so brutal that the director, Ruggiero Deodato, had to go to court to prove he did not kill
And I still question it. I honestly still question it. Dude, okay, so I rewatched it recently. I saw it when I was younger. Then some asshole riding a motorcycle.
That was a car.
That was a car?
Somehow. Yeah,
you need to fix your muffler, bitch. Although some people would probably be oh, it's a nice sounding car. Not to me. Make it silent. We got a podcast to run here. No.
Do you remember that time? This is a total tangent.
My God, yes.
One time me and Sean tried to record a podcast and this guy was cutting tile outside in the pitch dark. There's no way that he could see what he was doing.
He had one flashlight. It was the craziest thing. He was sitting in the pitch dark just cutting tile on a tile cutter, an open tile cutter.
Until 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, it was
crazy. And he kept going in the house and kept coming back outside.
Because he kept measuring. Yeah. He was measuring wrong.
Yeah, because he couldn't see what he was doing. It was insane.
That was crazy. Was that for this show or the old show?
It was the old show.
Oh my God. We started at 7 and we couldn't even start till 9.
Yeah, it was insane. I could not believe it.
Oh my God, that was crazy. But yeah, Cannibal Holocaust, so great. I rewatched it when I was older, actually more recently in the last couple of years. And I found it a lot more brutal and to the point where I'm sorry, special effects were just not that good. Watch some of these movies from that time period, and you're talking about faces and shit that look like clay. Right. They look like they were made with Play-Doh.
Yeah.
And they're passing off as decapitated heads.
And the fact that they didn't have a budget either.
Dick getting cut off.
That's what, dude, I was going to bring that up.
That is real, dude. That is real. I'm sorry. Dude, I've never seen anything look more real.
I know. Dude, that scene
I think they killed those poor people.
I was going to say, I do not think that they killed anyone, but if there's anything I did believe was real, was that dick
Dude,
scene.
Watch any movie from this time period, and you will not find a single special effect What year was this made?
It was 1980, so you could, but not with that budget.
No, I don't think so. I still don't think so. I don't think so. That was crazy. That was the craziest thing. Honestly, dude, I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. Maybe it wasn't the actors that they did it to, but a human being got their head cut off, and a human being possibly got impaled on a pole and eaten. I'm just saying. I rewatched it like a year or two ago, and I was just like, "Oh no, this is bad. Like this is not okay." The pole scene I could see as maybe being fake, but even that one's tough to sell me on. Oof. Brutal.
So yeah, Cannibal Holocaust number 9. Number 9.
I hope that is that director dead? Do we know?
I don't know.
I pray to God on his deathbed he reveals all the true stories from it. Please tell me the truth about it.
Ruggiero Deodato. He is drumroll. He's alive. 76 years old.
Dude, please give us the truth.
Dude, can we have him as a guest?
I would love to, but
he's just gonna chop our dicks off.
He would just you're like, can you come here for a minute? Guys, can we turn these mics off for a moment? I'd like to see you in the other room.
Just in my backyard trapping animals.
Yeah. And then in a court case, 2 people pretending to be me and Joe will come up and be like, nope, no one was hurt. We're all good.
Oh, God, that's good. Just slandering this guy.
Oh, yeah, that's bad. Yeah, we're supposed to be respected podcasters now. Allegedly. Doesn't that clear us of all?
Dude, we've used that so many times.
Remember the episode where
with Crispin Glover? Accusing him.
Don't say it because I bleeped all of it out.
Okay.
It's all bleeped out on
That's
the
right,
episode. Right. So don't say anything.
Oh, man. All right, my last one, number 10. You had the sequel. I did not. I had the original. It's 1981's Evil Dead.
Cool.
Yeah. I mean, I can get the sequel. I just like this one better.
I'm with both again. Yeah. Like I said, it was like honestly a coin flip.
This one had such like a shoestring budget. I mean, it was literally like if you were like, let's go film
that cabin.
I know. Like it would just be like, let's go film a movie in the cabin right now. I'll hire some buddies to do some makeup, and the makeup that they did was phenomenal.
Bruce Campbell was legitimately my hero growing up. I loved him. If Chins Could Kill was like my favorite book of
Adventures
all time.
of Briscoe County Jr.
I did not like that.
I loved it.
I did not. It was in that same era of Hercules
and Xena.
Oh my God, those are so awful. But hey, I was glad what Bruce got paid.
Yeah, Bruce was great.
At that age, I was like, it's work. That's honestly what I felt. I was like, he deserves it. Work. I'm glad he got the TV show, but I hated it.
I liked it, but that has nothing to do with the Evil Dead.
No, not at all. But I mean, what can you say about Evil Dead? It's so great. It's so scary and so
again,
funny.
If no one's ever seen a horror movie, I would show them this. It'd be like, this is, again, kind of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Nothing scarier than being isolated, like helpless in the woods. When they're playing that card game, throughout the movie, some shit's going down, but it really hits the fan when they're playing that card game, trying to guess what card it is. And the character in the background, that girl, is just getting them all right, one after another, and they look up, and it just cuts to her, and she's floating in the air, and you're just like, that gave me the chills when I saw it.
In a way, you could probably make the argument that like Evil Dead is kind of the apex of horror. It just hits on so many levels.
It does.
Like, it scares me. Like, I said this last week. It scares me. It scares the shit out of me.
Yeah.
When the girl's in the basement, I'm terrified.
That and the makeup that they put on that girl, like, they should have won a fucking award for that.
They really should have, actually.
That honestly, makeup is crazy. It's so good.
That makeup is crazy and terrifying.
She looks disgusting.
She does.
She has totally transformed into this like hellish ghoul.
And that movie is so
and just and it's so unsettling because Bruce is trapped in the house. All his friends are dying, and this disgusting ghoul is just banging on the chains and the trapdoor, sticking her head out. Like,
I mean, I'm gonna make a statement. It's probably incorrect here, but I feel like in a lot of movies, you kind of know people are gonna die, and the first time I watched Evil Dead, I was not expecting them all to be dead.
Yeah,
every single fucking one of them is dead.
Yeah,
and it starts fast. I mean, you're talking like it's not like Bruce hanging onto the last guy's arm, and the guy says like, "Save yourself." It's not like that. It's just like,
no, they're going.
They're
It's just Bruce against the world.
Yeah. And man, so great. What a character Ash is, right? Like that's
iconic.
The best character maybe ever. We have to do that thing we talked about. Maybe we'll do it in September now that we have a lot of shows to fill with a fantasy draft.
Yeah, who would you take?
Yeah, like we'll do like 1 year we'll do survivors and 1 year we'll do like villains. And, like
I mean,
fantasy draft.
Ash has to be a strong 1 seed.
Oh, Ash is like
he survived
round 1,
2 haunted cabins,
dude,
and he traveled through time.
Yeah,
and now he's starring in the TV show.
Which I can't wait for.
I can't wait. Can't wait.
I saw people criticize.
I was
kind of pissed off.
People just look for reasons to complain.
They complain about everything. They were like, the jokes are
pretty
corny.
much us.
Yeah, I guess. But we're kind of like the anti of that because we complain about stuff people love. Yeah. So get ready for that, guys. It's going to be a blast for you to be really annoyed with. But like people just complain about little things. I mean, they were talking about like the jokes were corny. Have you watched any of them?
That the point?
Have you watched any of them? Or are you like it part of it is nostalgia, I think. These kids see it when they're young, including us, I shouldn't say kids, but they see it when they're young, and in your head these jokes are like super badass.
Right.
And Ash is such a badass, which is true, but then you take his jokes as like real jokes and don't realize how stupid and corny. Dude,
that's like taking
not being able to say Klaatu Verata Niktu. Klaatu Verata Niktu. Like what? That is so silly.
That's like saying Kurt Russell's character in Big Trouble in Little China was over the top.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the fucking point.
Yeah, that's why they did it.
Yeah.
Like relax.
He's imitating John Wayne for 2 hours.
It's so true.
Again, like that's why like going through this list, I've been thinking like even just one that wasn't on my list, Big Trouble in Little China, like it just wouldn't fly today.
So good. No,
these like
they're remaking it.
No,
The Rock's in it.
Is he Kurt Russell's character?
Yeah.
Oh God. I mean, I love The Rock, and I will watch it.
Well, I think we need to get into The Rock's ear somehow and let him know.
That's not going to happen.
And let him know. And let him know. Be John Wayne for 2 hours. And you'll have a good movie. Watch it flop.
Oh, man.
And he'll be like, fuck you, Joe. Nobody listened to the horror show.
Tell him to do someone different, like Jimmy Stewart.
Tell him to be Kurt Russell. Jimmy Stewart.
Yeah, The Rock doing a Jimmy Stewart. I'm Jimmy Stewart. The Rock just talking like that.
What?
Well, now.
What? Or what's Burl Ives? I don't even know why you would do that. But it just seems so funny. I need to see The Rock imitate Burl Ives.
You know what? If news comes out that The Rock is doing an impersonation the entire movie, I don't care who it's of. I'll be all on board. Just doing a Jack Nicholson voice the entire movie.
It's the hardest I've ever laughed. It's so stupid. It's so stupid, but I want to see it so bad. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Jimmy Durante. Oh my God. Please, Rock.
Yeah, Rock. If you're listening,
more impressions. Impressions.
Just choose somebody obscure. Not even obscure. Just choose some old timer.
Rock.
Just try to talk like him.
Dear Rock, please throw your career away and just do impressions in your next few movies. Oh my God.
So after all that, yeah, Evil Dead.
Evil Dead's the pick.
Yeah.
Guys, that's an awesome list.
To run it back for you, it was Wolfman, The Exorcist, Texas Chainsaw, Jaws, Suspiria, Halloween, Dawn of the Dead, Alien, Cannibal Holocaust, Evil Dead. Is that 10?
Sure.
Right.
I didn't count. That's a great list, and thank you for repeating that so I don't have to listen to our whole episode.
There's so many other ones that I wanted to put on. Like, I really, really wanted to put on Dead Alive. I really did.
A lot of people had that on their list, and totally worthy.
Wanted to put on Tale of Two Sisters.
Yes.
The Korean flick.
Yep, so good.
Return of the Living Dead, Hellraiser, Silence of the Lambs. I went back.
I think Return of the Living Dead is the most popular answer.
I mean, it's so good. I would just, if somebody's never
watch it.
If somebody's never seen horror before, I would kind of ease them into a zombie flick, not necessarily punk rock zombies.
I guess so.
The Woman in Black, not the Daniel Radcliffe.
No, the miniseries.
BBC
miniseries. So good.
That was so scary to me. It was so well done, scary. And I didn't have any like.
I didn't mind the Daniel Radcliffe one either.
No, I didn't either.
I don't think it was that far off.
I didn't have any ghost movies like that. The Changeling, and Tale of Two Sisters. I really wanted to put on Reanimator.
Reanimator's good.
I have no Hitchcock, but Hitchcock's more suspense.
It's weird. Hitchcock's a weird one. I like a lot of the Hitchcock movies. It was a lot of this stuff. Like Birds was one of my first horror movies. After them, my dad loved animals, clearly. But I don't know. I just never got into them. I never got into them. Like even Psycho, I like, but I don't love Psycho.
I love Psycho.
I don't think it's.
Have you seen The Innocents?
No.
The Innocents came out in 1961, and it's a black and white ghost film, and it was just it was so effective to me. I rewatched it again last year, and I still was like unsettled by it.
Well, I might have to check that out.
That was another one I was going back and forth with. But yeah,
that's a good list. I really like it. I think that's great. That's a good list. I think our lists really, I mean, they speak the same things.
Did you have was Wreck an honorable mention? That was. I didn't want to go too recent.
I think in the modern days, especially of found footage, I think that one does it better than Blair Witch.
Definitely.
You hate Blair Witch.
I do.
And that I think Record did it right.
Yeah.
I mean, again, it kind of does the thing that all found footage does, which is it just ends and you're like, well, how was it found?
Right.
Like from all we understand, it was in this attic with a giant fucking monster. So who went
up there and
got it? Yeah, and why? You know what I mean? But
you know what was a recent one that I really, really loved and I thought about putting on was The Descent.
The Descent is so good. Actually, if you guys check out our Tumblr page, I actually just posted me and one of our listeners, the Evil Dana. I did this a while ago. We were thinking about. We had a couple projects up our sleeves, and then this Fangoria thing kind of came up, so I didn't want to rock the boat or anything. But I didn't want to get into too much. I didn't want to get in over my head with a lot of stuff. But we were thinking about a couple things. But one of my ideas was I wanted to do a round table, like you see on like Grantland and Bill Simmons' old websites and stuff, where we're talking to the fans about a movie. And it's basically an email chain.
Yeah.
And we all watch the same movie and we all discuss it in an email chain. I did it. Joe wasn't involved for this one, but I did it with the Evil Dana. And it came out pretty cool. It was a pretty cool concept. It'd be better, more organized and stuff. And it'd be cooler if more people were involved, like if we got Joe involved and stuff. But check it out. It's on our Tumblr page and we talk about The Descent. And what a good fucking movie.
I saw opening night. I knew nothing going into it because even though it was 2005, like it just still was a little different than it is now.
Early.
Like,
yeah, it's a lot different.
I didn't really know much going into it. And some of those scares, and I know I've seen counter arguments like, it was corny, but some of those scares, like when they're looking through the caves and through the camera and that creature pops up and it's just like has this like claustrophobic feel.
Super claustrophobic. I mean,
I love Neil Marshall. I love Dog Soldiers. I love everything he's done.
The opening scenes when they're going into the caves and the cave collapses behind them, you're like, if you're not claustrophobic, you will be, because it makes you feel like real fucking. I love the all girl cast. They're all great. Yeah. It was a great movie. But yeah, check out our Tumblr page. We have a conversation about that. So before we wrap up, though, we've got 2 more user submissions that I wanted to just talk about because they're our buddies. So at Necroprancy, I don't know what that means. Necroprancy. Hopefully I'm saying that right. She says, "Hi, this is my list!" ! Black Sabbath.
Nice. Mario Bava.
It's a good pick.
Yeah.
The Beyond.
Fulci. Love it.
Suspiria. Return of the Living Dead.
Heavy hitter, huh?
She's coming out swinging on this list. I love this list. The Exorcist.
Yep.
Reanimator. Black Sunday. Good choice. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yep.
The Thing. And Scream.
I mean, you can't really argue that list.
Pretty that's a really well-rounded list.
Yeah.
I like everything in there. That's a great list. And that's not just, you know what I mean? So
I like Black Sabbath, Black Sunday choices.
I do too. She got a sticker for that list for being our best. And the Scream thing. So I was like, you get a sticker. Next is, and the last one is Grandma is Watching Horror. Our buddy on Tumblr at Grandma is Watching Horror. She says, and here's my submission. A starter's guide to horror. I hate this question. I feel like you need to get a little bit of everything in there just to expose someone to as many different types of film
Didn't you read this last week? Did she say she was bashing her head against the table?
She did, but she didn't give us a list.
Oh, she didn't give us a list.
No, she just said she bashed her head against the table and said she hated us.
She stopped bashing her head, and now she sent him a list.
Yes, she also was very upset when she listened to the episode, and I started off with, oh yeah, Grandma's Watching Horror basically told us to go fuck ourselves, when she in no way said that. She was like horrified, and I was like, oh yeah, sorry about that. At least I cleared it up. She did not tell us to go fuck ourselves. She was very polite.
Wait, so you cleared it up 3 hours into our second episode?
No, I cleared it up in the first episode.
Okay, right.
Well, I read her actual message because I was like, I should probably not paraphrase this because I know that is not what she said. Yes, or that. Whatever. But she says, just to expose, what are we talking about here? I feel like you need to get a little bit of everything in there just to expose someone to as many different types of film to find out what they really dig, which I totally failed at. But oh well. So no particular order. This is my list. She says, disclaimer, no desks were harmed in the making of this list. That's called a callback, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you do when you're big time. Fangoria podcast. Carrie. And she says, original or TV remake?
Wow. Or TV.
Dude, I'm with her on that. You know what I love? The Shining miniseries.
I do too.
So fucking good.
I really do.
So fucking
I think we're in the minority.
I think we are too. I thought it was amazing. Absolutely amazing. The Covenant.
I've seen that.
Okay.
Yep.
I have not. Ginger Snaps.
Okay.
I'm not a huge fan of Ginger Snaps, but it is very popular.
Okay. I like Ginger Snaps.
I don't dislike Ginger Snaps, which is a lot.
It's not in like my pantheon of all-time greats.
It is for a lot of people,
I could see why somebody would.
If you grew up...
There's like an age difference.
Yeah, there is an age difference, I think, there. If I were younger and I saw Ginger Snaps, I'd probably love it. I mean, come on. I'm talking about... I fucking love that shitty Rumpelstiltskin movie. I still haven't seen it again. We got to do that. But like, I mean... If I liked Rumpelstiltskin, I probably would have thought Ginger Snaps deserved an Academy Award.
For sure. I mean, they're not even in the same ballpark.
No.
It's a good pick.
Yeah, it is. Julia's Eyes.
Never seen it.
Neither have I. So, I guess it's good. Here's a good one. Here's an interesting one. Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon.
Nice.
It's an interesting choice, especially for somebody new to horror, right? Like, I don't know. That was a good movie. I really actually enjoyed that movie.
When Leslie Vernon has, when he finds that copy of Paradise Lost, he goes, Paradise Lost, found it. It's one of the funniest things I've seen.
It is a super funny movie.
Great movie.
Here's my favorite on her list, Housebound.
Nice.
So good. That's one of my favorite of last year. And honestly, it's getting up there as like one of my favorite of all time. It's so...
Housebound, you know what? Housebound was great when I watched it, and the more I think about Housebound, the more I like it.
The more you let it sink in, and you're like, it just left such a good feeling with you. It's such a great movie.
Yeah, so many turns.
So many twists. That's a great one, especially if you don't know who you're giving it to. She has Scream on her list also. Black Christmas, 1974.
I thought about that one too.
That's a good one. Fright Night, 1985.
Nice.
Are you sure you don't want to pick the one with... Colin Farrell.
Wait, he's in the remake?
Yeah.
Colin Farrell?
I think so. Isn't he? Isn't he the vampire?
I didn't know that. I never saw the remake.
Colin Farrell's been in movie jail for a while. So it was weird. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Colin Farrell. That is Colin Farrell.
Wow.
Yes.
All right.
I kind of want to watch it now. I've never seen it.
I've never
seen it.
It's
not good. It's not.
It can't be.
Let's just stop. But she has the original on here. So And she says, because I'm awful and don't care if I traumatize someone, the loved ones.
I haven't gotten around to seeing it.
Oh, shit. You need to see it. Dude, blew my mind. I just saw it last year.
I remember you telling me about it.
Dude, totally. I could not even believe it. So fucking good. I'm actually mad I left it off my list. If I had a slot for gore porn, I wouldn't even quantify it as that. But if I had a slot for that style of just where you'd put like Hostel or something of that nature, where there's a lot, it's going to make you feel pretty uncomfortable if you've never seen it before, that would be the one. It was so goddamn good, man. It blew my mind. So Grandma's Watching Horror, you got free stickers anyway, but you would have been a close second in your list. I like your list also.
Yeah.
That's really it, though.
That's it.
That's a wrap. What a good show, I think. You tell us. Actually, don't tell us. Just tell us if you like it. I only want to hear positive criticisms, guys. I love you all, but seriously, thank you all so much. So happy to be doing what we're doing. Can't believe that we're on Fangoria now.
Fantastic.
That's so fucking crazy.
So cool.
We'll probably say this every episode forever now, but it's just crazy. It's just wild. So check us out. Check Fangoria out, fangoria.com. I guess I haven't thought about how I'm going to include them in here.
We have a month.
Yeah, we do. So I was just thinking about something. Okay, guys, thank you so much for listening. As always, rate, review, subscribe on iTunes. If you do that, send me an email, Sean@IHateHorror.com. Let me know what your iTunes name was with the comment on it, and I will mail you a sticker to your home address.
They're pretty sweet stickers.
They are pretty friggin' cool. Everyone that's got them has loved them. Grandma's Watching Horror loves them. So that's all I have to say. Okay. The gal's got great taste. Want to thank Harley Poe for using the song Gorehound off the album Pagan Holiday. HarleyPoe.com, Facebook.com/Harley Poe. He's on Bandcamp and iTunes. You could just search him through that.
Yep.
Twitter. What's your Twitter, Joe?
@JoeV421.
I'm at I Hate Horror Show. Instagram, Joe.
Boognish 1985.
1985. I don't know what mine is. I Hate Horror Show. And Facebook.com/I Hate Horror. Like us there.
Yes.
We're talking there now. It's a blast. I'm going to get Joe on there under not his personal name.
Yes.
Eventually we'll figure that out. And he will join us. Although I think
I can make edits and stuff.
Yeah, you can.
But it's weird because sometimes you respond and then
we'll have to sign. Or you know what? I've got a better idea. I'll let you know after the show. Glad we're talking about this on the air while we're recording.
Or signing off.
Yes. And that's really it. Rate, review, subscribe, and more importantly, tell your friends.
Which a lot of you have been doing, and thank you so much.
Yeah, really. Thank you guys all so much. Without you, this is honestly nothing. I can't believe we're even here right now. So thank you all. We'll see you again in a week or two, and stay weird.
Yeah. We won't see you at all, but you can hear us again in a week or two.
Yeah. And that's it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Did I say see again?
You did.
All right. Stay weird.
Thank you.
Adios.